Hi, I'm Chef Kevin Belton. Today, we're gonna make a wonderful risotto using our Presto pressure cooker. We're gonna do a shrimp and asparagus risotto. Now, the thing about the pressure cooker, it's 3 to 10 times faster, and we don't have to stir as much. So let's get started. In our pressure cooker, we're gonna start with a little bit of oil because we want to saute some ingredients that's gonna go into our risotto. So here we have some onion. Basically by sauteing, this will release the flavors out of the onions. You know, often you hear the term caramelizing. Basically, that means the sugars are gonna start to come out of those onions. We just wanna cook this long enough to release those flavors. Now, so to our onion, we're gonna put in a little garlic. See, our moisture is starting to come out of the onions, so now we can add our garlic. So of course, we need a little salt. And I like a kosher or sea salt, a touch of white pepper. Now, risotto can be made with a couple of different rices. You know, carnoli is grown in the northern part of Italy. It's a medium grain, and it's a very heavily starched rice. Today, we're gonna use an arborio. Arborio is also a short grain rice, but it's great for risotto because it absorbs and keeps a firm texture. So as this cooks, what we want to happen with our risotto, we want it to be grain for grain, but it's just a nice, smooth, creamy texture. We just want to get that rice coated with our onions and our garlic. You know, let's do a little pinch more salt because rice absorbs a lot of flavor. So you really can't over-season rice because it absorbs so much flavor. So here, now we can go ahead and turn our fire out. We're gonna take what we've sauteed and place right in our bowl. Now make sure to place the risotto in an oven-proof glass or metal bowl. So let's just take all of that right out. Now, we've sauteed this off. So now we can put our plate down into the pressure cooker, and we're gonna add 2 cups of water. This is gonna give us some moisture while it's cooking. You know, by using the pressure cooker, this moisture will keep this risotto nice and very, very moist. Now, let's make a lifter so it's easy to get our risotto in and out of our pressure cooker. Now, I've taken a piece of foil, and all we have to do is just keep folding our foil over. Just end to end. And you will see, because you know, this will assist us in getting the bowl in and out of our pressure cooker. So now our risotto is ready to go in. To our bowl, we're gonna add 2 cups of chicken stock. Just to rinse that spoon off, to get all those little goodies in there. Just give it a nice little stir so it moves around. So now let's take a piece of foil, cover our bowl. We just want to cover this nice and tight because this will help our rice to cook. And you know, often when you make risotto, it involves a lot of stirring. Here we don't need that. So let's take our band that we've made, bring this up, and another little piece I folded over. Now we can just take this, and this creates a handle because this is gonna be hot. So let's go ahead and get this in so we can get this risotto cooking. Our risotto is in the pressure cooker. Now we can go ahead and close it up and let this rice start cooking. So on goes our lid, and you know what's nice? There's an arrow right on the top that shows us how to line this up and just bring this right on around. We turn our fire on. Now, our regulator will go right on the top. Once this regulator starts to do the little dance, it's doing a happy dance because we're cooking good food in here. Once this starts to dance, that's when we start our time. Don't start it now when we first put it on the fire, but when our pressure builds up inside to 15 pounds, our regulator will start to dance, and that's when we start timing for 10 minutes. What's neat about this Presto pressure cooker is the tri-clad base. It's a nice heavy-duty plated base. Because of this base, we can use gas, We can put this on electricity, or we can cook on the latest induction burners. Now, if you notice, our lock has come into place. Once this lock comes up, this means it is safe. We cannot open it. And look, our regulator is starting to dance. So now we can turn our fire to a medium heat. Now we start our cooking time. Now we want to time it for 10 to 12 minutes. Also, we have 15 pounds of pressure buildup in our pressure cooker. We know this because that regulator is dancing. Now, normally, risotto would take an hour to make, and that's adding a little stock, stirring, letting that moisture absorb, adding a little more stock, stirring, so that moisture gets totally absorbed. In our Presto pressure cooker, this will only take us 10 to 12 minutes. After our 10 minutes, we're gonna take this to the sink and cool it quickly with cold water. Cooling it quickly with cold water will drop the pressure inside, and our safety valve here will release. So you see, it's popped up to the top because we can't open it while the pressure's built up. So once we cool it down quickly in the sink full of cold water, our safety lock here will drop back down, then it'll be safe to open. Now, let's go ahead and saute our other ingredients that are gonna go into our risotto. In our skillet, we're gonna put a little butter. And you know, we're using asparagus today. If you have another favorite vegetable that you like, that is wonderful. You know, this could be made different times of the year with fresh vegetables that you have available in your area. So our asparagus, if you notice, I've just cut it, and we just want to get this sauteing off. Of course, when we cook, we have to add a little seasoning. I personally love my vegetables with a little bit of crunch because our risotto is going to be so creamy. The crunch from the vegetables is a nice, different texture. But here, see, that's warming up nice and fine. And of course, some nice shrimp from the Mississippi Gulf Coast. You know, one of the things about seafood, you don't want to overcook seafood. And you also want some nice fresh ingredients. A little bit of salt and a pepper on our shrimp. You know, if you're on the East Coast, you might want to try this with some scallops. Okay, if you're on the West Coast, you might want to, oh, this would be so fine with Dungeness crab because that crab is so sweet. So anywhere you are, you can adapt this to this wonderful risotto that we're doing. And if you notice with the shrimp, our shrimp are going to start to curve and they're going to start to turn pink. Oh, look at that. So while this is sauteing, let's go ahead and get our risotto out. Now, remove the regulator. And because our pin is dropped again, that means this is safe to open. Look at that moisture. That's what we want because now our risotto will be so moist. So now we can take our foil lifter and just pull our bowl out. Our shrimp are just about cooked. We can go ahead and turn our fire out. So let's open this up. Look at that. Look how creamy that is. That's what we want. Nice, creamy, and we didn't have to stir. That's the most important thing. We didn't have to add stock and stir because we did it in our pressure cooker. So now let's just take our risotto, put it into a larger bowl. Look, that seasoning we put in earlier, that onion, that garlic, this is all about flavor, all about flavor. But our chicken stock has totally absorbed into our rice. Now we can add in our shrimp and our asparagus. And you know, to finish this off, let's get this out of the way. I have a little Parmesan cheese. So let's get our Parmesan cheese in. And now we can just fold this in. Just get our shrimp mixed in. Get our asparagus mixed in. Look at the bright green from the asparagus and our shrimp. Oh, I can't wait to serve this. So now, just take some. Oh, look at this. Put it right on your plate. Let's get some of the asparagus and shrimp right on the top. And now we can finish this off with a little more Parmesan cheese. So now, there we have our wonderful shrimp and asparagus risotto made in our Presto pressure cooker. Your arms are not tired from doing all of that stirring, so you're not too tired to eat this wonderful dish.